Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So, for those of you not in the know, I happen to wake up in the middle of the night. Uh, just happened to pick up this headline. I'm trying something new with one of my businesses. So, generate a little bit more income flow. Should have several streams of income, as I always say. But Youngkin has been declared the governor of Minnesota. Now, this could possibly be because his opponent came out and said parents have no right to tell people what's in the school. Then he tried to explain it by, well, they shouldn't be allowed to take books off the shelf and blah, 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 blah. And as you were seeing, most of the school board members didn't even know what books were on the shelf. I told you the story about this parent. Stands up, starts reading a book. The president of the school board goes, that's inappropriate. You can't read this here. You can't read that here. And he goes, I got it off your library shelves. And her defense was, well, I didn't know it was there. Parents do know it's there, so shouldn't they? But let's see what the race baiter, the blonde whore, the lesbian have to say about it. Let's go, people. And I don't mean lesbian in a derogatory term. I just mean it as a fact. So I have friends who are lesbians, great people.
Office Miniature Steve Cracky, because I'm completely confused. Like, this is the first time, I think, in watching politics for a really long time, like most of my adult life, that I don't really know what the numbers mean. So, folks I'm texting with from the campaign, at first were a little bit down. They were not super enthusiastic in their text. They were saying, well, numbers look up, it's close, it's gonna be close, it's gonna be close. Then they got happier when they started seeing African-American areas and said, so it's like back to, will the black voters sort of save the party? But
here's a hint, Democrats. You've already told us through Biden and Chucks and Pearls Kamala that you don't give a damn about black voters. So why should we save your party once again? Malcolm X warned us about this in the 60s, yet black people still do it. You still believe Kamala Harris has your best interests at heart, when, if you look back at her track record, she doesn't. You still believe race baiters like Don Lemon and this idiot Joy Reid. I had to YouTube this because there's no way in hell I'm watching her show. I have more respect for myself. Let's go again, ladies and gentlemen.
the challenge here is on white voters. I don't know what it.
Now, if you notice, she went straight to race right away. That's all she does. That's her whole playbook. That's her whole playbook. She goes straight to race. If I were an NFL defensive coordinator and all you did was throw the ball, guess what? I'd put out my best pass defenders. I wouldn't even worry with the run. You're not going to do it anyway. Like her, she's not going to make a salient point. She's not going to look outside of race baiting to turn white against black in everything she possibly can. Ridiculous.
It means when you see what is a typically Democratic county with high turnout, right? Because how many voters are in that county who are suburban white voters who normally Democrats could count on when they see high turnout in that county and say, aha, that's my voter, who maybe back in the day voted for Doug Wilder, who maybe voted for Donald Trump, but who are sick and tired of hearing the race conversation.
So who's the one always having the race conversation? It's always her, Joy Reid. Always. She never stops. The liberals never stop. Everything's about race. But even the broken clock is right twice a day, my daddy used to say. But she did get one thing right. People are tired of having the race conversation. Not everything's about race. Race doesn't begin and end at wanting your child. Race has nothing to do with wanting your child to have a good education. Race has nothing to do with not wanting your daughter to be exposed to teenage male sexual predators who are wearing dresses in the school bathrooms. Race has nothing to do with not wanting your grade school kids, your first and second graders, exposed to porn in school libraries. I say we just completely defund the schools if this is what they're gonna do. Let's go back to this. Sorry, got a little worked up. Let's get it.
And they don't like living in this post-Trump era where we're talking about white nationalism and January 6th. And Charlottesville horrified them, but they're over it. And they don't like the idea that the 1619 Project will be taught in schools. And so they're kind of a both and voter. Maybe they also want to see a vaccine.
Ladies and gentlemen, and let's go through this again. Everything is about Trump and white supremacy to these people. Matter of fact, when you leave here, go over on Rumble. I'm going to do a video over there. It'll be up in about 20 minutes about how concerned with white supremacy they are. This is it. Post-Trump. This lady is insane. That's her only game plan. That's the left's only game plan. Is everything's about race. I watched her show the other day on YouTube. I saw it on YouTube. Like I said, even I'm not that self-injurious. Hey, I'll jump out of a helicopter or airplane, ride a horse across the Rio Grande, fight rattlesnakes. But I'm not watching that show. I'm not that brave. I'm bounty on it. I've been to several combat zones, but even I'm not that brave to watch that show. Oh my God, my head would explode. Let's continue on.
Vaccine mandate, but the race stuff is so potent in American politics. It always has been. Lee Atwater knew it. Ronald Reagan played that game with welfare reform. It is such a powerful argument for people who are not traditionally right-wing voters, but that it gets at an emotional toll that people feel that talking about race takes on them. And that means they're available to the Republicans. Do you think?
Now notice, she just admitted her playbook. This would be like if Bill Belichick sent Jason Garrett from the Washington Redskins his offensive playbook ahead of time. She's sending you her playbook. She wants to create that visceral response. This is why you can't argue with liberals, because they have a visceral response. Now we're going to stop this here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here with my final thoughts. But going over to Rumble, see the video over there. But this is what they do, see? Now they're blaming them losing the Virginia race on race. White people are racist. That's why they voted for Youngkin. Even though it was the Lincoln Project, liberal group, who pretended to be white supremacists, male white supremacists, and sent out a woman and a black guy because they couldn't find anybody else. This is how ridiculous this is getting. And then you're going to have the Joyanne Reeds and the Don Lemons and the Andrew Cuomos, the Rachel Maddows. That's all they scream all day long. And then are surprised when people get sick of it. People are starting to vote on issues, not some visceral feeling of race. They tried to declare Youngkin a racist. One of their big complaints was he didn't separate himself enough from Donald Trump. Everything is always about Donald Trump because they're still trying to play on your emotions. Never mind just having a good salient talking point, because their talking point is that of Nazi Germany. Let me make this comparison. Do you know why Hitler was so successful? If you look at the country of Germany, it's 1.9 times smaller than the state of Texas. So it's easier to control. I lived in Germany for 4 years, which is actually not accurate because I spent most of that time in Bosnia and Kosovo and places like that. Actually, I say the majority. I think maybe I did a straight 4 months in Germany at any given time. I think only once. But their playbook, they've lifted completely from the Nazi Party, doesn't work so well in the United States of America. It's too big. There are too many differing opinions. But see, they'll never recognize that, and they're just going to keep doing the same thing. Get over this ridiculousness. So congratulations to Glenn Youngkin, the Republican governor of Virginia. Maybe that state will start to turn around here soon. Looks like New Jersey may also have a Republican governor. It's really close. Race hasn't been called, so I'm not going to say anything about it. But congratulations to Glenn Youngkin, and shame on you, Joy Ann Reid, as usual, and you, Rachel Maddow. And I'm pretty sure Don Lemon said some shit, but I don't feel like saying his crying ass. It's the middle of the night. So I don't know how his husband tolerates his ass, honestly. God, yeah, it's like a woman. Not just a woman, like a liberal woman. Go figure. Most of the women I know are pretty damn strong. It's cowgirls. I got 5 sisters. Hell, one fights cows for a living. All righty. So like, subscribe, share, and as always, do what you got to do. Don't fall for the race baiting. Like, subscribe, share, especially in these times. Do what you got to do. Thank you.